I find this fascinating. These threads are finer than these. So these are 14s, those are 20s there. This goes inside the hub, so thankfully I didn't mess things up. That goes in the hub. This is the upper portion where the nut attaches. That's the visible portion. So it's coarser going in, so maybe I have to put some Loctite on there to hold that in once it's in there. Otherwise it'll want to work itself out. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've got the parts all laid out. You can see that's the gasket that goes in between the hub and the axle. And this is the right rear. It's the right front. And those are its parts there. These are the parts to the rear. These parts go to the drum that is over there that I just finished working on getting the seal out of. And I'm using paint thinner to clean it up, the grease, so that I can have my friend check out the bearing. It looks pretty good, but he's a mechanic, so he's going to check that out for me, friend Roger. And it looks pretty good, but what do I know? And back to here. So this will be my front left and the corresponding parts. So I'm going to clean those all up, take the drums down, get them turned. Of course, this one I have to get the seal out, the rear seal, the inner seal I should say, and I'll be good to go. Howdy, it's starting to rain outside. What I've got, I have removed 2 studs from either side by putting double nut on there. It's double threaded. I have another video that talks all about that, so I'm not going to go into great depth. I'm just going to show you how quickly and easily this works. I'm going to put a little lubricant on the threads of these screws. If you want more in depth, I've got it on my other video. I'm going to drop this big washer inside so it rests on the seal so I don't damage the bearing. I'm going to get this big 1¼ inch and 5/16 socket, put it in there because the throw on this timing gear removal tool isn't long enough. So I'm going to set that on in there. Back that off a little bit so it's resting on top of the socket. These are 7/16 bolts with number 14 thread. The other side is the number 20 thread. So this exposed area is a 14, or the 20, and this going into the hub is the 14. These are 2-inch bolts here. The video explains why I'm doing it like this. I need to get this seal out so I can have the brake drums turned. So I've got that ready to roll. Got the timing gear removal tool set. Got a 3/4 inch socket here. And now I'm just going to tighten that up. And I'm going to easily push out the seal. And you'll notice when you get to the end, it turns easily. And the video shows how it works. There it goes. See, that's got a lot of play in it now. Just move that back, reveal it. So there's the socket, there's the washer, there's the bearing, and there's the seal. All ready to roll. Now I can take this tool back, which I rented from O'Reilly's, and I'm good to go. Just take this off here, take that off, put a little lubricant on the threads, and there you go from start to finish. Voila! I thought everything was really good with my right rear wheel, but unfortunately my friend, when he came to check out the bearing was fine,
but the race was loose. So we ended up, so this is the old bearing and the old race. So I had to order, we figured might as well, if you're going to get the race, you might as well get the bearing also. There's the part number on that if you need that. And also, I ended up, the nuts were too loose. When I took them off, they were loose, and he said that's not good. So I did end up getting this socket to reinstall the nuts properly, because there might have been a little bit of slack, a little too much slop in the wheel. So what he had to do with the race, this fits inside the wheel. He had to dimple the wheel, and with a cold chisel, he had to dimple it, and then use green Loctite, place the new race in place, and so that the bearing would fit. So this would insert inside the wheel, and then the bearing went inside that. So the race was loose. This was just loose and just popped right out. So we had to dimple it. So essentially not the race itself, but along the surface where the race was resting. My friend did that. He's a mechanic and he knows what he's doing. So just thought to give you that update.